Hey, welcome back to another Ping Pong Flicks Tidbit. My name is Chris Wong. For a long time, we were always talking about how there is possibly a Green Lantern cameo within Justice League. And we actually did get that in the history lesson with one of those, I guess, ancient Green Lanterns during the history lesson being totally owned by Steppenwolf. But after a while, we get to hear a little bit more. And I think Kevin Smith had on his little channel where he talked about leaks from the actual Justice League Snyder Cut, in which it's been presented that there was supposed to have been a post-credit scene with Lanterns Kilowog and Tomar Ray. They were supposed to come in during the ending, visit Bruce Wayne at his mansion, and that was been kind of like leading into Green Lantern. Not sure if that actually happened, but according to those leaks and someone in the audience, I guess those were actually true. Now, we also have been hearing about that Green Lantern was supposed to be showing up in at the ending of Batman v Superman. Of course, that never happened. We never got that Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart cameos in there, but that would have been pretty interesting and great. And even during that time, by Batman v Superman's end, Charles Roven, who was the producer, he really wanted Mark Wahlberg to be Green Lantern. And the one big sign of that was in this old picture here back in the day, where you see Mark Wahlberg stretching out kind of like a Green Lantern pose, but the big pictures on the bottom gives a lot of it away, because you actually see the Justice League members cast right over there, and Mark Robles circled it for us to see that. And indeed, on Mark Wahlberg's Instagram, he was kind of hinting that he may possibly join the Justice League as possibly Hal Jordan or Guy Gardner, one of the Lanterns. In any case, he was supposed to have been like the 7th member of the Justice League. Now, unclear if Zack Snyder actually wanted him to be the Green Lantern, or that was more a Charles Roven thing. But in any case, it seemed like we were supposed to get some type of Green Lantern, right? In fact, when Aquaman came out, or the reveal that Jason Momoa was Aquaman, Zack Snyder had put down Unite the Sevens. Of course, that could also mean Unite the Seven Kingdoms, or Unite the Seven Justice League members. There could be two different meanings to that, but I don't know if we'll ever know that from here on out. But the Justice League Snyder Cut continues to give gifts. These little reveals that Zack Snyder had really offered us through different pictures and things like that, and little comments within Vero, actually really excites us, really wants us to see this thing come to fruition. And one of those big reveals is that picture with Ray Fisher looking at his parents and himself, what appears to be a kind of dream sequence, or when he's tapped into the mother box or gets thrown into the mother box by the Flash, and he has to kind of destroy it from the inside. And the mother in the mother box is actually trying to coerce him to come to the side, to try to seduce him in a way, and into over to their side, and by using that image of his father, his mother, and himself. But someone was really looking in the background. A lot of us were. And one of us said, his name is Brandon Verklas, he said that, is that an apocalyptic ship in the background? In which Zack Snyder replied questioningly and very alarmingly, #Green Lantern. So for one, that giant ship, that background was actually something that they've used before. It looks very similar to the nightmare scene during Batman v Superman, where you see Batman overlooking the giant Omega symbol, and in the background you see some giant ships and some hellfire towers and things like that. And you look at that and you would think that's just an apocalyptic thing. Now, it's not clear if in Batman v Superman he referred to those ships or those objects in the background as Green Lantern. That would be something interesting. Maybe we should put up on Vero to ask him that question. But according to this picture, this very picture with Ray Fisher in that what seems to be that dreamlike sequence, or within the mother box, that ship in the background, #Green Lantern, that mothership. Now, we've pretty much known Green Lantern to fly around with rings, but every so often in the comics, he would pilot a ship like these ships right here. That doesn't look like anything like that big gigantic thing that's behind Victor Stone's family there, but it kind of is interesting to see that he's saying that, meaning, is this the apocalyptic background, or are they in an apocalyptic world during the nightmare scene where Green Lantern ships have actually arrived to Earth? That is an interesting concept. That is huge. That means the Green Lanterns are going to be introduced in Justice League more than that little history lesson, but also alluding to the other Justice League movie, probably Justice League Part 2 and maybe even Part 3, depending on how they actually fit this together. But that would have been an epic, monumental thing. That would have been worlds colliding, trying to defeat Darkseid, and that would have been something spectacular and something that is totally deleted out from this movie, unfortunately, and hopefully we'll actually get to see that. But the other thing is that he has talked about how the background is something that has not been totally finished, and that's like a template to be put in, meaning that it's possible that template possibly is not supposed to be in that scene, and they're just using something similar to that scene for something that was supposed to be more complex later on. And so what does that mean? Does that mean that particular scene does not actually that background is not actually supposed to be in that scene and is actually alluding to a different scene altogether, and they're just using it as a background? I would totally want to know more about that and why they decide to use that template, and how complex was it supposed to be? What other things are in the background? Was it supposed to be a giant war? Seeing Green Lanterns fighting, ships colliding with apocalyptic ships, parademons flying in and out, a giant war? I think that would have been quite exciting, and to show you, kind of tease you for Justice League 2 and 3 of what's to come, what type of a situation this world was going to be. Maybe it's that whole part where Darkseid comes to Earth, kills Lois, kind of takes over the Earth in a way, and that's why you see that post-apocalyptic world that the Batman was in the nightmare scene. We actually get to see the world turn that way with this giant war. And Green Lanterns fighting against parademons and ships fighting each other. Wow. I want to see that movie. Where can we see that movie? And it's unclear, though, is all these hintings out that he's giving us is actually in the Snyder Cut. I would love to believe that all of this will be in the Snyder Cut, so at least we can have a little glimpse of what is supposed to come, a little glimpse of what Justice League 2 was supposed to be, Justice League 3 was supposed to be. I hope he had not compromised to the point that in the Snyder Cut, none of this existed. There's not going to be a lick of Green Lantern, not going to be this scene where Victor Stone's looking at his parents and all that motherbox. I hope the Snyder Cut that we eventually do get is going to have all these elements that he hints at us. It includes Darkseid, includes Yuxas, includes this scene, includes Green Lanterns, a little hint of what's to come, maybe into the point that it could actually draw interest for people, when we actually get the Snyder Cut, of course, for people to say, I want to see what happens next. And that's something I'm really excited about when and if and when the Justice League Zack Snyder Cut actually gets released. Alright guys, well that is it for tonight. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. And I want you to go, by the way, just one more pointer. Go to the GoFundMe page. I'm going to put it in the link in the description below. Go ahead and keep donating. I think we're at almost at level 5 already. There's a lot of things that this Project Comic-Con team is doing very well. It's very exciting, and it's just to get more boots on the ground, just to get more people interested in the Justice League Snyder Cut, so we can all benefit from that, including half the proceeds are going to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. So it's a great cause, and I think this is a terrific movement. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.